It's not every day that we get quite the unique laptop. This is the HP Spectre x360 14, and if you're a creative, we think that there might be quite a few things that you might like on this laptop. Personally, I'm still more of a desktop kind of guy. I still like my beefy CPUs, my beefy GPUs, and I like to tinker with water cooling and all that. But if you're talking about laptops, I still very much appreciate a really well-designed laptop. And I think you would too, especially if you're going to use it as your daily driver. Just like the previous generation, the Spectre is unique looking with the two-tone look and chamfered edges, which creates a hexagonal frame when you look at it from various angles. It makes the laptop stand out ever so slightly, giving it a little bit of character while still retaining a professional look. On top of that, HP actually made use of that unique frame. One of the USB-C Thunderbolt 4 connectors is actually located right on the edge, putting it at a 45-degree angle. Although it isn't much of a difference compared to having it on the side, it does help with cable management, kind of, for it's just slightly out of the way. To add on, included with the laptop is actually a USB-C hub, which will give you a couple more USB ports, HDMI 2.0 as well as charging pass-through. A nice touch, especially since the laptop only has a total of 2 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, a 3.5mm combo jack, a microSD card reader, and a single full-size USB 3.1 Gen 2. But now, let's talk about how it feels like to use the Spectre as a daily driver, and I really only have 2 words for it. Pretty darn good. I guess that's 3 words. The star of the show is definitely the display. It's 30.5 inches, OLED, has a resolution of 3K by 2K in a 3:2 aspect ratio, covers 100% DCI-P3, gets up to 400 nits in brightness, and of course, supports touch. The display specs are actually quite comparable to other laptops in this segment, but the main difference is definitely the panel. If you have yet to try OLED on a laptop, it's just simply great, no two ways about it. Colors are extremely vibrant and the dynamic range is really good thanks to those deep blacks. Any kind of content on it just looks great, be it YouTube videos, creative work, or even just plain browsing. In addition, the speakers on the Spectre are also quite good, and it's definitely not what I expected. It's a collaboration with Bang & Olufsen, and a pair of stereo speakers are located on the underside. They sound great no matter which mode you use the laptop in, and do get pretty loud despite the form factor. The keyboard is great and it's a joy to type on with good tactile feedback and bright white backlighting. It also does feature an offset power button just like the Surface laptop, which I really appreciate. It also comes with a fingerprint reader located just beside the arrow cluster. The trackpad is also large and comfortable to use, no qualms about it. As usual with most other laptops, the Spectre also comes with a HD webcam. And just like most other laptops, the video quality and mic quality are comparable. If you need a webcam, it is there and it works and it's in the right position. One trick that the Spectre does have, however, is a dedicated button for the webcam, which controls the privacy shutter. Activate it and the shutter will cover the webcam, and it's actually underneath the glass panel. It's nothing fancy per se, but it's just nice to see something so simple get a little refined. But arguably one of the best ways to use this laptop is to flip the display a full 360 and use the pen, which is included as well with 2 extra tips no less. Now if you're asking about the feel and the quality of the pen, well, for the record, it's not going to replace your Webcam or your Apple Pencil. It's not quite there yet, but at the same time, it's not far behind. Pen pressure was decent and tracking was pretty on point. I was able to draw multiple lines in parallel without much difficulty. If you're just looking to take down notes or even just do simple art, this is honestly very usable, and once you're done, it magnetically attaches to the side of the laptop, so you don't have to worry about misplacing it. With that said, performance of the pen is of little significance if the laptop itself doesn't perform. So, our unit is equipped with the Intel Core i7-1165G7, 16GB of RAM and 1TB of PCIe SSD storage. For our test, we ran it both on Smart Sense mode and the performance mode via HP Command Center. We will denote on screen which is which. In Cinebench R20, while the single core score is pretty much the same, the multi-core score is quite different just from switching between the two modes. In fact, it's almost a 30% increase in performance for the multi-core. Jumping over to DaVinci Resolve, the performance difference is also quite vast. The 10-minute 1080p project took a whole 7 minutes less to render on the performance mode, which, similar to Cinebench, is almost 30% faster. Now the reason why is quite simple. In Smart Sense mode, the chip is limited to 15 watts and maintains a more conservative clock speed, whereas in performance mode, the chip is able to clock up to 20 watts or more with higher clock speeds. As for gaming, we've only tested using performance mode, and you can expect well above 60 frames per second for CSGO and just about 40 to 50 frames per second for the most part on Genshin Impact. However, the gaming experience isn't that great because although the average frame rate was rather okay, there were definitely sudden frame drops from time to time which really sucked. Not too surprising, granted that Genshin Impact is really GPU intensive and we only have integrated graphics here. But let's be real, those scenarios aren't what you are really using this laptop for. Most of the time you'll be using the laptop casually, or you flip it over at full 360 and use it to take notes with the pen or even draw. For those use cases, the specs are well more than enough, and even with quite a heavy Photoshop file, it still delivers great performance and can keep up with the speed of the pen. And although performance mode does indeed grant better performance, if you're off the grid, Smart Sense is the way to go. It gives you a nice balance between performance, thermals, and battery life. I was able to get about 9 hours of usage out of that 66 Wh battery, and at 9 hours, it's definitely more than enough for a day without your power break. Thus far, I don't really have anything bad to say about the Spectre per se, but I do at least have a few words of advice. The laptop definitely has a premium price tag. At 2,900 Singapore dollars or 1,800 US dollars, while it certainly isn't overly expensive, it isn't that affordable either. Of course, you can get it for cheaper if you opt for the Core i5 and the Full HD IPS panel instead, but I dare say that the OLED is worth the upgrade. Now, part of the price is also because it's a 2-in-1, so if you don't really need the 2-in-1 function or use a pen, look at other options, even within HP themselves, like the NV series. You will be getting much more bang for your buck elsewhere. But if that's not the case, and you know what you're looking for, like an OLED display, 2-in-1 function, pretty decent performance and good battery life, well, this might be interesting. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below, and if you would like to, do check out the affiliate links in the description. If you do, thanks for your support. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Till the next one, see ya!